Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Graham O'Brien and some of the stories coming up in today's news. Man dies on track, Nelson holidays ring in the profits, fun in building sandcastles and much more. A walker on Nelson's historic Dun Mountain track discovered the body of Jonathan Philip Bird from Christchurch on Saturday before alerting emergency services, who recovered the body from the Dun Mountain track using the Nelson Marlborough rescue helicopter, according to police spokesman Senior Sergeant Matthew Elliott. It appears that Mr. Bird had died due to a medical event, however the matter has been referred to the coroner. According to Senior Sergeant Elliott, he was found a reasonable distance on flatter section of the track, so there was no suggestion that he had taken a fall. An announcement in Picton on Tuesday morning this week by the Primary Industries, Environment and Conservation Ministers Nathan Guy, Nick Smith and Maggie Barry to establish a marine park in the Marlborough Sounds could put some small fishermen out of business. The government will now press ahead with a plan to exclude commercial fishermen from the entire Marlborough Sounds. However, aquaculture will not be affected, and they say that commercial fishers will be compensated for the loss of their fishing grounds. However, local Tasman resident and recreational spokesman Jeff Rowling believes that it will establish a Clayton's Park with commercial scalloping, crayfishing and pawa gathering still being allowed to continue. A new Marine Protected Areas Act is to replace the Marine Reserved Acts 1971, which the government intends to pass during the current term. The government's plan to have 2 recreational fishing parks in place this term is looking to be cemented, with another announcement for a similar recreational fishing park announcement for the Hauraki Gulf expected. A consultation document is to be released from Tuesday this week, with submissions to close on March the 11th. The summer holidays in the Nelson region has meant that many locals have been enjoying the great weather, as have an influx of visitors. Chrissy Small caught up with Uniquely Nelson's Simon Duffy to find out how local businesses have coped over the season.
Simon Duffy, Uniquely Nelson. We've had a fantastic season, I believe.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity of having a chat to you once again. Spoke to you just prior to Christmas as we build up to the Christmas New Year. A lot's happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and retail in Nelson has just gone off, especially in the last 2 to 3 weeks. It's been amazing.
Look, you know, we seem to be, I mean, today it's you know, there's still lots of people around and
It's early morning.
Yeah. So look, what's been the flavour of this season, do you think? What has Nelson offered people?
Obviously we have the influx of, especially around the Christmas New Year, of people coming up from Christchurch and a lot of domestic travel, and then we do get a second wave obviously with the tourists coming in from overseas or coming down from the North Island as they pass through New Zealand. There is a vibe in Nelson the last few weeks, just because of a lot of the boutique shops and what's actually on offer here. And also a funny thing that played a part here, and we had out of this 18 regions that are gauged by a thing called Paymark, and we came out of the top in the top 17, 18 regions over the New Year period. And likewise we had the cricket team here from Sri Lanka playing, but it was cancelled because it rained. And so we had a huge amount of people in town, and even some of the cafes and restaurants ran out of food around mid-afternoon, which is, when I say a bad thing, is also a good thing. They really got hit hard. Same with the retail here. Speaking to the shops behind me, actually ran out of lines of certain clothes. They got hit big time. So as much as they were exhausted at the end of the day, it was a huge day, and that led on for the weekend, especially with the Jazz Festival as well that was happening. So it builds and builds and builds as we head towards a hotter and hotter summer.
Right, and I guess the old song, "A pub with no beer," kind of springs to mind when you have a restaurant without food. Yeah. So obviously that was indicative that people were here and basically spending up large.
Yeah, I mean, I stood on the cathedral steps on that Saturday, Sunday, the first and the second. I looked down Trafalgar Street. I thought there was half a dozen cruise ships in town. It was heaving. It was packed. And I had friends and also coming in from out of town who were just, it's just normal for Nelson. Going, oh, yep, this is a quiet weekend. Yeah. But it was just heaving and it was pumping. Yeah. And you could feel it. And what I like too with my friends that have been coming down over the Christmas New Year period is they came to Nelson, and one thing they said, of all the towns in Nelson, it's a very pretty town and very unique. There's a funny feeling in Nelson where they kind of really chilled out. And which is Nelson's known for, as a place to come, and I thought that's good. That's good for Nelson.
Well, it is. And any idea, I mean, we'll have to look at the real estate figures, because obviously people are coming here and wanting to stay. So they'll be buying in, which is great for the population, I guess.
I've got about 6 people coming down or over a period of about 2 months. 4 of them have already been through. 3 of those are families, and 3 out of those 4 are looking at moving to Nelson and actually shifting their business down here. One was in clothing, importing of clothing, in the fashion business, and the other one was a graphic designer. And that's the thing of getting out, and they all came from Auckland, of getting out of Auckland and selling up there. And the proposition here and the value as far as buying something here is they could buy something, have change left over. So it is a lifestyle change for them wanting to come to Nelson. And I've said to many of my friends in the last couple of weeks, is many years ago I thought I'd come to Nelson. People were off, provincial towns in New Zealand, not just Nelson, just anywhere. This time round, different. Off to Nelson, we want to come. We want to come, and they do want to get out of Auckland. As well as other places, people can come from Wellington or Christchurch, but there is a lot of pressure on Auckland, on the housing market. The cost of living, myself being down here in the last 2 months, coming home, I just find things cheaper in value, and it's just different. It's just different.
Now, Simon, do you think this holiday period has been influenced by having that extra airline, Jetstar, come to Nelson?
That is a contribution. So I contributed to their numbers coming in. 3 or 4 flights a day from Auckland. They're about to do the Wellington to Nelson run beginning in February. That'll add to the numbers, and we'll actually grow the tourism numbers for us. And also not just tourism as international tourists, but also domestics. The reason I've had a lot of people come down in the last month or so is because what used to cost $600 now costs $300 return, and that's great. People can come down for a weekend where they'd think $600, I could go to Sydney. I could go somewhere. I could go overseas to that. Well, they can go overseas and come down over the Cook Strait and come to Nelson, but for half the price. So it's working for Nelson. It does. As
we know, it's always a bit, cooler in winter, and sometimes the numbers drop off and businesses slow down. Yeah. What have you got on the agenda to help keep that vibrancy happening in Nelson? Any plans? Any
plans for that is, I'll put it down to marketing. We need to market the CBD over the winter periods. We know obviously during the summer, make hay while the sun shines. It's a case of the proposition in Nelson, I think, is quite unique. We're called Uniquely Nelson, but using the word unique, it is quite. So our point of difference is that what we have on offer here, as opposed to if we go over the Wangamoas or go further south, and it's developing that brand up. And what is that experience? What is that retail experience in Nelson which you won't get elsewhere? And that's something we need to develop up. And a lot of people said to me, what are you going to do? And I always say, well, what are we going to do? Because we have to do this together. And it is. And the more I've been here and gotten to know people and got to know the CBD a bit more, from a business point of view, my passion grows. It is unique. And I see this. And I come into town every morning and I go, right, what can we do? I get to about 4 o'clock on a Sunday and I'm going, come on Monday. And there's a lot to do. So that's it's a challenge, and it drives me, gets me out of bed for what's on offer here. And it is special. Nelson is special, and I'm not biased because, I come from Nelson or I'm here now with this role. But there's something about the people, and there's a lot of heroes in town who are running their own businesses, who invested in Nelson and the CBD and are here for the long haul. And I want to find those people. And they become our spokespeople because they are the CBD.
It's a seller's market, according to real estate agent Grant Cheney of Ray White in Nelson. The long-kept secret, it seems, has leaked out that this region is indeed paradise, with an influx of buyers from Christchurch and Auckland continuing the trend from December, looking to relocate to the area with a desire to buy existing homes in the $300,000 to $450,000 range across the Tasman region. However, it seems that a shortage of properties for sale in this price range in particular is stymieing the rush. Tasman currently has more land being earmarked for development in the Motueka township. Close to schools, shops and residential developments in Mapua are clearly seeing investors and potential home buyers buying up sections for development. Also, the new completed wharf development has certainly helped draw in the crowds of visitors to the small township, creating a bumper season for the businesses in the area. So in essence, the housing market is strong, although properties remain in short supply. The holidays are still on for the kids at Founders with the brand new venture, the Funhouse, creating a fun forum for the children. I spoke with Murray Cook to find out more. Murray, can you tell us a bit more about the event that you've got here?
Okay, well, probably what we're trying to do is to showcase our equipment that we have on offer. We've set up down at Founders Heads with the council permission. It's a lovely park, it's a beautiful setting. So we thought we'd do this period now just to get the public used to our equipment. We're new into Nelson, and our concept or business plans are changing a wee bit, but that's how we're starting it off.
And then have you had much luck at the moment with people coming down?
I think the numbers have dwindled this week, but that's, I guess so, is the Christmas period.
So you're saying if you want lots of time on the rides, come on down and you'll get all the time you want?
I'm sure the kids are enjoying long periods of activity on the rides, and we're certainly not moving them off in a hurry.
And you're here for the rest of the week?
We should be here for the rest of the week. We're dependent, and there might be an emergency in Christchurch yet, so I'll have to attend to that.
Okay, hey guys, what did you think of the train ride?
Good.
Yeah, what was it like?
It was bumpy.
Bumpy, wow. And you've all got your tickets there to go in on the rides?
Yes.
Oh.
It was really a little scary because of the horn going all the time, and you didn't know when it was going to go. And also, there was lots of smoke, and it was coming in my eyes, and I was so blurry.
So any grandparents who are at a loose end with children in tow, this could be a great time to take the grandkids down to Founders. Fancy yourself as a bit of a builder? Well, a challenge has been set with Sport Tasman's Sandcastle building competition that is currently running through to the 31st of January. I went down to Tahuna Beach and spoke with Wendy from Sport Tasman to find out more. Wendy, you've got a great summertime event up and running now. Can you tell us a bit about it, please?
Yeah, so we've got a sandcastle building competition which is open to all ages and anyone in the Tasman, Nelson, Buller and Kaikoura and Marlborough region. It's free for everybody, so all they have to do is register online with us, and then they submit a photo of the sandcastle or creation that they've made, and then we put them all in the draw for spot prizes, and we've got heaps.
No hints on what those spot prizes are?
We've got some amazing vouchers from Lone Star. ASB, being a great sponsor of us, also have put together some great prizes too. Yeah.
And what's the hard work of promotion that you've got to go and do for this event?
Oh, it's pretty tough coming down to the beach over the Christmas period and talking to all of the locals and seeing all the kids pretty happy making their sandcastles, so I've got a pretty good job.
And you've got a full schedule today, I hear?
Definitely, so we're off to Kaiteri and we might get to Marahau as well.
Nice. Nelson Park's program has free community events that will be running through till March. Nelson City Council is running these in conjunction with local business, and I spoke with Vaughan, who is a facility manager of the Aquatic Centre, who filled us in on all the details. Vaughan, you've got a Nelson Parks program underway here. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and where it comes from, please?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess our company is trying to, in conjunction with Nelson City Council, get more people active and engaged in the local community and the parks and playgrounds around there. We have, in this region, in my opinion, some of the best parks in the world. I'd like to put it out there. I'm happy to be challenged on that, but I think we've got to engage and use them, and if it's got activity behind it, that's really strong for the community, helps in all the health sectors as well about getting out and active.
Sure, and that's a good statement to make. I'll agree with you. You've got activities going on for the young ones. You've got activities going on for the not so young ones. Can you tell us a little bit about today? We've got the not so young ones. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, our programs, anyone can come down and engage in the activities we're doing today. For example, we're doing Vitality, which is about movement, about gaining strength and also balance and pelvic stability. So we're trying to engage the stability within the body. Young could be here to do it, but this program specifically is generated for older adults. To define an older adult, that's a hard one. A lot of people go, I don't feel old, but I think anyone could sort of get benefit from being down here. The other thing that we're running is a lot more family and youth events. So we had one last week at Tahuna Nui. We had over 160 to 180 kids come down and engage in an obstacle course, and they're running all the way through this month, the next month, and also till mid-March.
Wow. And you've got the scavenger hunt down at the Mai Tai today. You're expecting those sort of numbers as well?
Yeah, I've had a few local programs say they're going to come down and bring their children, so I think we've already got 70 to 80 kids coming down this afternoon, which will be cool.
And are your companies run this in other areas, and has it had good success?
We did. Started in Auckland, funnily enough, and that program I think started 3 years ago. Each year it's just grown and grown and grown, and it's really strongly supported by Auckland City Council, but also the community up there, and they're doing similar but different things and reaching out to, I guess, their communities as well.
And just to clear everything up, it's a free event, anyone can come down, join in?
Definitely, we welcome everyone. Even if you just want to pop down and check out the program we're running that day, you might have a look at the other ones we're working on as well. So we've got stand-up paddleboarding coming up. I think that's next week. We're doing stuff down at Manako, and we're utilising spaces all through the parks in Nelson. We've got dance-based programs for young and old. We're doing a little bit of Zumba in there, which is kind of cool for us. And then we've even got, I think it's Mad Beats coming down to do a really cool dance session for the younger kids.
The next event on the program is Ageless Yoga at Tahuna Beach this Thursday the 14th from 11 a.m. And good news for Tasman residents, all water restrictions have been lifted from today. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour.
We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time.
Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546 4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Sit and Be Fit is on at the Victory Community Centre Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. at the Victory Community Church, 238 Upper Vanguard Street. School terms only. Fun while you get fitter, work at your level.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa.
On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.